Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I am Danny Vega, joined by my lovely, lovable co-host, Sarah. Sarah, how are you today?
I can't really complain, so yeah, there's that.
Pretty low. I mean, not a great. You just can't complain, so that you're not quite good.
I feel like that's accurate. I'm adequate.
Okay.
I have some mild annoyances, but I don't want to complain about them because I'll sound like a huge asshole.
All right. Well, I'm learning not to pry and accepting that if that's a boundary that you want to create,
Not a big deal. I
respect.
just bought a new phone, but I don't think I like it. So now I'm just debating if I want to return it.
You're not an asshole for that, Sarah. You had a very old phone. I think you had an older phone than almost anyone I know, which is also crazy because I know you're on your phone a lot. You're an influencer, so I don't think you're an asshole at all. So what do you hate about the new phone you have?
Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't want to buy a full price iPhone 12 because those are upwards of $800. So I got the iPhone 12 mini, which was less. And I was like, oh, this will be good because I was kind of between that and the 11 because I was borrowing that from my friend for a week or however long it's been since I broke my phone. I think about a week. And I was like, you know what? This is huge, but it's not so bad. I feel like I'm kind of used to it. But I ended up going with the 12 mini just because it's a little bit newer. And I was like, and I feel like it's probably the same size as the 7, which I was used to, and I have small hands.
Okay.
But it turns out that it's actually a quarter of an inch smaller. And see, this is why I didn't want to complain about it, because I know I sound like the worst person alive. But it's smaller, and I really feel like an old person, trying to read this phone, and it just feels so much smaller that I literally feel like I have an iPhone 4, which I never
you tried
even
to?
had.
You can change the text size. Did that help?
First of all, that's really old person shit. And I don't know. Because I'm just thinking, if I'm going to be editing videos and stuff, it might be better to have a bigger screen. But having a smaller phone is convenient. So this is the trade-off.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all have iPhones. We all have our fancy phones. I don't think you need to feel like you can't complain about an iPhone 12 mini. It actually is not a very well-selling model, if my memory serves me. Surprisingly unpopular, probably because it is very, very small.
Why the fuck did you make it smaller than the iPhone 7? What's the benefit there? Whatever.
Some people like the teeny tiny phone. I personally made the opposite.
This is real tiny. Whatever. I'm mad.
It's too tiny for you. Yeah, no, I mean, look,
and
it's
I'm
too
a small
for
person.
I agree.
I'm your target market.
Small is one word for it. Petty is another one.
Hey.
I made the opposite mistake. I got a too big of a phone. I got the Max, and it hurts me. It hurts.
Yeah.
It's too heavy. It's crazy. I'm not doing the Max next time. I learned my lesson. I've had this thing for years.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. I mean, I can return it. I'm going to kind of sleep on it and decide.
Sleep on it, figure it out. First of all, please rate, review, and subscribe. Join us on Patreon. We're doing the call-in show. We're doing the WhatsApp. We're doing the cappuccino. It's a little podcast that keeps on going with everybody in it. Anybody can participate. It's a lot of fun. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. And we've got a new review here today. I rather like this one. 5 stars. We've been on a good run, Sarah. I'm feeling pretty good. Casual but thought-provoking. Love the pod, and I love the various Danny-isms. I wish some people would lay off the Danny hate. There we go. Maybe there's some questionable opinions said here and there, but self-examination and self-improvement is evident and always admirable. Thank you both for all the wonderful free content. Always makes my Monday morning. Well, thank you so much for your wonderful review.
Yay.
And we're happy to provide the free content. But if you do get the itch to pay, I'll see you on the Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. We'd love to have you, dear reviewer. But hey, if you're in the free zone and free's enough for you, I get it. So now let's get some freaking verdicts here. AITA for not renewing my tenant's lease in favor of my daughter.
It does sound pretty asshole-ish.
It does.
I'm gonna say YTA.
YTA is wrong.
Damn it.
So I don't know if it actually is wrong. It was not the top verdict, but basically
it.
OP is a landlord, but it is a pandemic, as we have talked about before, as we broke here on the
As
podcast.
we've mentioned once or twice.
Many of you didn't know about COVID, but we told you. No,
Right.
so basically, they're a landlord. They wanted these people out. They gave them 1 year notice,
All
and the
right,
post
that's
was
enough.
made a month ago. So I think that still is clear. I'm assuming it's not New York. So like their city is probably opened up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just said like, yo, I want to kick these people out. They had a year. The property manager even offered them suggestions. And I want them out. I want my daughter or whatever to live. And Jam and Ham got the top response. No assholes here. You gave them plenty of notice. They're understandably struggling during a pandemic. I think you're all in a tough spot, and you're just trying to do what's best for your families. You don't owe them an extension, but I don't blame them for asking. If they blow up at you for not agreeing to their request, then they'll be the asshole.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Can't blame them for asking.
A year is a lot of notice.
Yeah, that's a lot of notice. I mean, the only thing I would say they could be the asshole for is if they mentioned it a year ago and then never brought it up again. Because it's not unreasonable to think that with the pandemic, priorities would have changed.
Yeah,
But-
that's true.
You know, how it is. Alrighty. AITA for adding cheese to a vegan dish.
Adding cheese to a vegan dish. I mean, my instinct is going YTA. I've been on such a long lose streak, but let's just do this. YTA. You would think. That's what she's going to say.
You would think, which is the whole point of the game, which I love it. Okay. So here's the deal. OP's girlfriend is a vegetarian, but occasionally is vegan, like sometimes for short periods of time. So this week she made a vegan salad bowl for dinner. And OP was like, yeah, this is good, but something's missing. So he added some feta cheese to it, but only to his plate. The girlfriend basically got offended and was like, there's nothing wrong with the dish. You should have just respected my cooking and eaten it without modifications, especially since I made an effort to be vegan and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the top comment was from 7, that's a nope. NTA, you put cheese on your own salad. If you had snuck cheese into her food, that'd be bad, but you didn't. You put it on your own food. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, I did not expect that to be what was going on.
I know. You never do.
You got me. AITA for telling my friend that just because I'm wealthy doesn't mean I don't need any gifts.
I mean, how could you be... I would say no assholes here.
Swing and a miss.
Woohoo.
So, it was a doctor's B-day. He kind of goes out of his way to be like, I'm a doctor. I make 6 figures. His friend didn't get him a gift. And then I guess he was like, well, you make more money than me. And then the doctor said, yeah, I make more money than you, and you don't have to buy me a gift, but it'd be nice if you did. I always get you gifts. He responded something like, we can also stop being friends if that's the thing that you get angry about.
Oh? Okay.
I'm so happy that
0
we're
to
on
100.
this. I'm so happy that we just did this after talking about codependency, because this is totally codependent shit, is to give gifts, giving unsolicited gifts. Expecting a gift when you gave a gift, kind of fucked up. Why are you giving gifts then? Just don't give gifts.
Right. I hate that.
I'm against gifts in general. Less gifts. Don't give me gifts. I'll buy it. I mean, I think it's just that's the rule. If you give a gift, it's got to be truly a gift. If you expect a return gift, then what is even the point? Then it's a trade.
Yeah. No, I like giving gifts just because it's like I enjoy making people happy. But if you're just doing it as a coded ploy to get a gift, then like, no.
Ollie Golly Molly, get your username. Top comment here. ESH, don't expect gifts from people. That's gross. But so is his reasoning for not getting you something small. I forgot would have been better. So true.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we have for my verdict. AITA for embarrassing my parents by putting out a tip jar.
What the hell? No, not the asshole. And they are.
So this one actually shocked me.
Wow.
So basically because when I look for these, I look at the title and then I'm like, okay, well, if it's not, like, how could it not be X? And if it's not what I think it is, then I pick it, obviously. So here's the deal. OP is like really good at piano. They were in a few state competitions and whatever. OP's parents really like to host parties, so they've been hosting some parties now that their friends have been vaccinated. And usually the OP will come downstairs, play a few, like, you know, songs on the piano. That's it. Then, by the way, OP's in high school. So now, before this most recent party, OP had the idea of putting out a tip jar with a sign that said, my name, my college fund, with like a Cash App, Venmo, PayPal handles. OP did this because they say, I'm going to college in the fall and want some extra spending money. OP's parents are pretty well off, and also most of their friends are well off. So OP ended up earning almost $1,000 in one night.
Oh my God.
I know, right? That's very well off. So after the party, the mom came up to OP and said that OP embarrassed her and the dad because the sign suggested that the parents are going to have trouble paying for college. The top verdict was YTA because hitting up party guests in your own home is tacky. If you want to get paid to do gigs, then get yourself hired to play gigs. Other people also brought up the fact that it is tacky to claim it's a college fund when you aren't paying for college and you just want spending money.
So OP was lying?
I mean, a little bit. It's not like lying, but I feel like a college fund...
So OP did not intend to use the money for college.
Well, OP intended to use the money for spending money while at college. So
that's college money. Are you kidding me? Yes, that counts.
I think a college fund implies like the tuition. It's
oh
like a little
God.
bit splitting hairs.
I think that's ridiculous. I think this is absurd. I have, what did I say? NTA and the parents are. I have this right. This is wrong.
Everyone said YTA so far, so.
Everyone is wrong.
Okay.
First of all, what about OP did I misunderstand that? Did OP opt to play the piano or were they pressured by the parents?
I mean, I'm assuming that OP was asked by the parents, but they didn't specify.
Oh, okay. I mean, look, I think if you put out a tip jar, is it tacky? Sure, it's tacky. If people want a tip, they want a tip. So let them tip. I mean, how tacky is it if people are tipping $1,000? That is honestly the detail that I struggle with. That's an exorbitant. How big is this party? I mean, even if people are tipping $20, it's a 50-person party. I guess it's possible. Could happen, but it seems like a lot of cash.
I mean, that's a lot of tips.
I mean, I guess if she's really killing it on the piano, but still, I mean, $20. I can't imagine that many people giving more than $20. Good Lord.
Right. Me either.
I don't think it makes you an asshole to put out a tip jar at your own house. I think it's weird, but whatever. And I definitely disagree with you on this college fund thing. Are you kidding me? That's college money. You don't have a job. That's the whole premise. You're supposed to be at college, ideally working low hours or no hours, and then you need
but they're
food.
not going to be working because their parents are well off, so they're paying for it.
Oh. Okay.
So it's kind of like...
I guess that is a little disingenuous.
Come on.
That's fair. I suppose that's fair. Maybe we should do this one. I'm curious about these piano people.
All right.
Nonetheless, it is yet another no-hitter, our second, I believe, in history. We pitched a no-hitter. We're getting too good. We're outsmarting each other, people.
We are getting too good.
Folks, please rate, review, subscribe. Please do it right now. Give us 5 stars on iTunes. Write us a nice, thoughtful review. You can hate me. You can love me. You can say, maybe don't even mention me. I would like that. Just a review that's just about Sarah. Don't even mention me.
You don't have to mention me personally either, actually. I prefer it that way.
We would love to see a review. We'd love to see you on the Patreon right after this episode, people. Patreon.com/AITA pod. We got Colin's show. We got the WhatsApp group. That's a lot of fun. We've got our cappuccino. Oh, we've got our bi-weekly happy hour.
Yep.
It's a blast and a half. And I'm ready to say it's a great value. So we will see you in the Patreon right after the show.
I don't think you're going to get a better bang for your buck.
Thank you. Patreon.com/AITA pod. All right, folks, so let's do this thing. We're ready to do this thing. We're going to do this thing. Our second story.
We are going to do this thing.
AITA for shaming my sister for offering to breastfeed my baby. Ooh, that's a wormhole. But first, the incredibly titled AITA for hating everything.
I was going to do this as guess the verdict, but then I actually liked the post, so I thought we should just do that instead.
I'm so excited. Here we go. I'm 16 and I'm very picky. I don't like a lot of foods or variations of foods. Seems like variations of foods are still foods. Anyways. And I can't help just plain not liking the taste / texture / smell of a lot of food. I don't like broccoli, bacon, Thanksgiving food, except mashed potatoes, menudo, certain types of tacos, and a lot more. Okay, so there were quite a few exceptions.
Yeah, I'm confused now, but
very,
all right.
Very odd way to word this, but fair enough. I have a hard time finding enjoyable food or moving out of my comfort zone with food, so 95% of my diet is egg whites. I hate yolks. Snyder pretzels, haven't found another brand I like. Various types of nuts and fruits. Pasta with just butter and salt. Damn, this shit is bleak. I mean, I love carbs.
My blood sugar is spiking just thinking about it.
Only egg whites? You don't like the yolks? Good
I actually
God.
used to be like that, but
Oh boy.
I got over it.
My parents-
Honestly, not even because I didn't like them, but because of like cholesterol. And then they said the yolks are good cholesterol, so I was like,
Are you
all right,
saying
cool.
cholesterol?
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone pronounce it that way.
How else do you pronounce it?
Cholesterol.
What's the difference?
You're saying cholesterol.
Versus?
Cholesterol.
All right. I kind of hear it.
Okay, it's fine. It's not a deal breaker here. My parents hate this. My brother eats everything and anything, so the fact I only eat 4 things on a regular basis annoys them. Most restaurants, I get chicken tendies. They complain I dislike the dinner they make. Tonight was soup. I hate soups with a passion. I can't eat soup and just make myself whatever I like. Multiple times I've been yelled at and had food I hate shoved down my throat. Often they will just shove it in my mouth and not let me spit it out. I don't insult their food or make a disgusted face. I just say I'm not hungry and later make myself what I like and clean up after. I won't leave a mess for my mother to clean, you know? I get nosebleeds and faint often because I don't eat enough, according to my dad. I try, but I won't eat shit I hate when we have the money to get my Greek yogurts with fruit and blueberries and various nuts. They just refuse to provide it a lot of the time. They say it's my fault for not liking the food they make, but how am I supposed to decide to like food? It's not my decision to not like something. I'd eat menudo. Menudo is such an exotic.
Now I'm Googling it.
It's like intestines. That's such an exotic thing.
Sorry?
No,
that can't be right.
Yeah,
it can't be like I don't like anything except I like intestines. I mean, I believe you, but I also don't at the same time.
I'm doubting myself.
A traditional Mexican soup made with cow's stomach in broth with a red chili pepper base. What do you mean? Okay, so this guy likes plenty of stuff. I am straight confused.
I'm confused. Anyway, we'll finish. I don't eat something and go, love this, but I'm going to act like I hate it, refuse to eat it. AITA for not liking a lot of foods.
I mean, I guess I will say, like, I don't know, this menudo is really throwing me off because it's like, you like only bland shit except for this, like, flavorful Mexican cow stomach broth.
Absolutely. And menudo, like, people who like Mexican food will be afraid of menudo. Personally, I'm a fan.
I've never had it.
It's good. It's good. It's interesting. It's got a good texture.
But damn, 90% of the diet is egg whites.
Clearly, that's not okay. I mean,
that makes me sad. Okay, also, like, to be so picky down to the brand of mass-produced pretzels is really intense.
Yeah. Really intense.
I don't know what to think.
I mean, I guess I don't really have a problem with this. It doesn't seem to be closed-minded. I guess that is where I would be more offended, where I'd be like, oh, well, you're being ignorant. You're refusing to try. It seems like OP is trying and just doesn't like other things. I mean, who am I to say? They don't like it. They don't like it.
I know. I guess the problem is, though, if they're fainting and getting nosebleeds, that's a real problem.
I mean,
but they're not the asshole for it, but it is like, you need to find a solution, but the solution isn't going to be, I'm going to force feed you. Dang.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a little curious to me, OP then being like, oh, I need my Greek yogurts with fruit and blueberries. It's like, okay, it's kind of a pricier. I mean, it's not
This
that
is what
bad.
I mean. Greek yogurt. All these foods are like white and flavorless. So Greek yogurt, all right, it's on board. It's I feel like it's particular. Like most people, I like to eat plain Greek yogurt, but most people don't because it's really tart.
Yeah, that's not very interesting to me.
What,
Watermelon.
plain Greek yogurt?
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it straight. I need
So
something in
good.
there.
I mean, it's not good, but I'm weird. It's fine.
Watermelon writes, it's a very annoying trait to have to deal with regardless of who you are. Definitely on board for that. Food allergies and stuff. I mean, this really is like, it really isn't like an allergy because it's so restrictive. But yeah, it is. It's an annoying thing, but I don't think it affects your moral character. It's like if, essentially I just view this as like, oh, apparently your taste buds are different than mine. As long as it doesn't come from ignorance. And I'm not feeling that OP is ignorant. I'm feeling like they're trying and they're hating.
Yeah, I think they just have like personal issues with food. Yeah. Like, not in a bad way, but they're clearly just picky. But if they're trying cow stomach, they're trying, like, I'm not going to begrudge them for lack of trying. I'm going to begrudge the parents for trying to force feed them shit.
Absolutely. And yeah, I don't like how the parents are so annoyed. It's like, that's what your weird child likes, so they're a little weirdo.
Listen, I get that it's annoying to deal with. My sister is so picky growing up. Yeah. And then on top of that, she decided to become a vegetarian, which was just very annoying to try to have any sort of like family outing. But like, it's annoying. That's it.
Yeah. Super annoying. Paralori, NTA, but you seriously need to seek help. I'm not saying that in a malicious or rude way. It's not healthy to eat only those things. Your father may be right about it causing health issues. Yeah, of course.
Like something's causing them. People aren't supposed to just faint and get nosebleeds.
No.
But then, like, why hasn't dad taken their 16-year-old to the doctor?
Yeah, exactly. I have questions about the parents. Why hasn't this been addressed? Undercover accountant writes, look, because of your age, I'm going to be more lenient, say NTA if you were an adult than YTA 100%.
That's actually interesting. Would they be the asshole if they were an adult? I guess I feel like we've done situations like this before where, like OP or someone went on a date with a really picky eater. Like, I don't know if I'd want to go on a date with someone who only ate chicken fingers all the time. But yeah. I don't know if it would make them the asshole.
No, I don't see any assholishness here. Look, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm willing to be proven wrong on this, but to me, your taste is kind of a thing that, yeah, you can tweak it a little bit. Maybe you can evolve it. Some people are more adventurous than others, but I do feel like it's not really a choice. It's just kind of your relationship with food. And I feel like it's a lot like sexuality. I don't find it so plausible that you can just be like, oh, you don't like broccoli? Well, keep eating broccoli and then you'll like it. It's like, no.
I think the opposite, but I definitely feel like your taste can change over time, but I don't think forcing it is the effective way.
Well, yeah, I said it can evolve, right? And it kind of is a relationship, right? Because you're just like sexuality, it's like not in isolation. You're having relationships with individuals. Likewise, you're having relationships with individual foods and combinations of foods, etc. But I don't think I could call someone an asshole for being like a food bigot.
A food bigot. Like.
But it would be a deal breaker for me, It would. If someone had a super restrictive diet, I'd be like, look, food is like one of my favorite joys in life. So if you're not going to eat shit with me, then no.
Yeah, I get that.
So, but I just don't find anything assholeish. I guess I can kind of come for the parents, but we're not getting a lot of details. It seems like they're just kind of annoyed.
Let's see. Multiple times I've been yelled at and had food I ate shoved down my throat. Often they'll just shove it in my mouth and not let me spit it out.
Yeah. Are we taking that literally?
Yeah. Do you think they just said that just for funsies? I took that pretty literal. Like, I don't think it gets more literal.
Not let them spit it out? Like they're holding their jaw shut?
I don't know. I was thinking like holding their nose.
I don't know. I'm reading that as 16-year-old theatrics. But yeah, if that's true, I can just say NTA and the parents are.
Same.
AITA for hating everything. Turns out hating everything was actually a gross overestimation.
I know. Am I the asshole for not liking most things?
Most foods, right? I thought this was going to be like,
foods.
I hate everything.
I hate everything. I know, so angsty.
So we're saying not the asshole, and I guess the parents are.
I think so. Seems
All
fair.
right. We're into a little bit of assholes at the post office. The post office.
Yeah. The lady who tries to cut the line because, I'm just dropping something off. We're all doing that.
That's a good one. The guy who brought his own number card, like just he snuck in like a piece of paper and wrote like 13 on it, and he's like, "Ooh, I'm 13 too. I guess I'm next." Like, you just got here, sir. How could that be you?
Sir, there's no cutting. What about the person who finally gets to the front and has like no fucking clue what's up? Like, they're taping their box together, bro.
Yeah, they're like going through all their stuff. There's like files. They've got like a whole desk set up on the counter. You're like, what is going on? Is he working from home from here? What? This is insane.
Oh my God, yes. He just works from home on the post office line.
There's a line of 15 people out the door, and yet one of their workers is like checking their phone, just really not seemingly caring at all about this. We know you're underpaid, but we are upset at you for now. It's probably not fair.
But like, I do have somewhere to be, and it's not here all day.
That's literally what everyone is thinking at all times.
What? That they have somewhere to be?
I have somewhere to be that's not here because nobody wants to be at the post office.
That is objectively true. Ooh, the people. See, you can tell I spend a lot of time at the post office.
Yeah, you're killing
really
this.
Fun.
I'm lost. What? I haven't been to a post office in 15 years, but go ahead.
God, I constantly go. The person who like clearly fucked up and is now being aggressive and yelling at the post office worker. So it's so awkward for everyone.
You mean I need money to send mail? What are you talking about?
Yep.
The
person who waits on the line just to mail one letter. There's a mailbox.
Yeah, just put it in the box. The friend who's there with his other friend, he just keeps being like, "So we're at the post office. I guess that means we're going postal." And he says it loud. So annoying.
I feel like those are a lot of the assholes that I've encountered.
Well, I got no more, Sarah. We're going to declare you the winner since you're the post office queen. Guys, por favor, rate, review, subscribe. Give us 5 stars a roo on, what's it called? iTunes. I almost said Twitter. Please.
Give us 5 stars on Twitter, too, if you can figure out how.
Yeah, if you can put that in. We'll see you in the Patreon after the show, people. Patreon.com/AITA pod, WhatsApp, virtual call-in, extra bonus. I think we got over 50 bonus episodes in there now. That's a whole backlog of catalog.
Whoa. That's a lot.
What am I saying? Backlog of catalog? Where is my head? Episodes, people. We got all kinds of eppies in there. But right now, it's AITA for shaming my sister for offering to breastfeed my baby. I have an 8-month-old and a 2-year-old. My sister has a 3-month-old, a 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old. Her best friend.
God, I need a map already.
Yeah, this is insane. Her best friend has a 3-year-old and a newborn. I don't know exactly how old the baby is. Okay.
It's fine. We didn't need to know. We already know too much.
A lot of breastfeeding here. All 3 of us breastfeed. The difference is my sister extended breastfeed. All 3 of her kids are still feeding, and her friends are still feeding also. I weaned my oldest at a year and plan to do the same with my younger one. They also wet nurse for each other. Sarah, do we know what a wet nurse means?
Yeah, you breastfeed for other people. Or pump in, whatever.
What? I didn't know that was legal. What?
Why would it be illegal?
I mean, I'm not being literal, but it's very odd that you would breastfeed someone else's kid. I didn't
No, it's
know.
not. That was like super common. Back in the old day.
Like in the days before writing? Like when?
I mean, I don't know when, but no, I mean, it was pretty common.
Also, I'm not really comfortable with the term wet nurse. Can we just update that?
I'll take it up with the board.
Take it up with the board. Let's get a revision on that. They also wet nurse for each other. So one of them, let's just call it moist doctor. They also moist doctor for each other. So one of them will have all the kids and feed them while the other goes partying or something. Their older kids don't really care who they get their milk from, and even if they're together, they sometimes won't feed from their own moms. Anyway, we were all at a family get-together, and I was complaining about not being able to go out with my friends because I'm still breastfeeding. I made a joke about switching my baby to formula so she could stay with our folks. Older sister, mom of 7, agreed and said she'd have the baby if I wanted. My other sister stepped in and said she'd have the baby, and she could nurse her so I don't have to switch her. I guess I looked a little grossed out because then she added that she could also feed her pumped breast milk instead. I declined and kept talking to my sister about formulas. I shook my head no and thanked her for the offer. I'm genuinely thinking about switching my daughter over, so it wasn't intended to make my sister uncomfortable. After a while, she came back over and added, "You could just say no or that it weirds you out. You don't have to try and make me uncomfortable," to which I replied, and here's where I may be the asshole, "Yeah, it fucking weirds me out. It's creepy and I don't like it, but you do you. I wasn't aiming anything I said in your direction." Jesus.
Oh, okay.
She got kind of stiff and her friends packed up their kids and left, her friend giving me the stink eye. My parents approached me later saying how I was rude and disrespectful and that there was no need to shame her and needed to apologize for upsetting her. I disagreed. I basically told her what she wanted to hear. I don't think I shamed her at all, just not my preference. I now realize I was harsher than needed, but I'm still not sure if I'm the one in the wrong. I was just telling the truth, but she's not talking to me or her parents, so I come to you, AITA.
Okay, so before we get into anything, I just Googled wet nurse just to be clear. In the years before the development of modern infant formula, wet nursing was common. This is from JSTOR. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, wet nurses were often hired by well-to-do families. I'm talking like early-ish 1900s. So that's one history lesson. Let's see what else I got. Thoughtcode.com. What's different now? It's almost taboo in much of the West after the rise of formula. But the practice remains controversial. Let's see. One breastfeeding advocacy group was discouraging the practice in 2007. I guess there are potential hazards of like infections being passed. Interesting. I mean, some people do it still, according to a 2016 poll. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, look,
But yeah, I mean, I mean, like the thing is, this sort of like informal thing of like, oh, if you want to go out drinking, I'll pump for you for a day or whatever. I don't know how long that lasts.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a huge deal to me.
No, it was an offer. I mean, look, if I personally, I don't find anything objectionable about it morally. It's just odd to me. I never heard of it. Apparently, it has a rich history, or a weird history at least.
Yeah. I feel like I'd heard about it when I learned about the book of Exodus, but like I could be wrong, and obviously that was a very long time ago.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
It is a real deep cut.
Yeah, I mean, that's really reaching back there. I mean, wet nursing has been around longer than Christ. Good Lord.
I mean, pretty much. Well, I was just thinking because Moses's mom like put him in the reeds in the basket, so like someone else had to take care of him. And then I think his mom became a wet nurse or something for the Pharaoh. I don't remember. I could be all wrong.
Great
I gotta watch Prince of
gig.
Egypt.
I'm working for the Pharaoh now. I'm loving it. Great benefits. I'm a wet nurse.
The benefits are that I can secretly see my son and no one knows that he's actually my son.
I get to see
You can't
the
bait him.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's odd. I'm interested in it. I feel like I might be on some kind of list if I look up too much about it because it's very odd. But you know what? It's not immoral. I mean, look, it's happening. I don't know how common it is these days. She made an offer. OP rejected the offer. What was the initial rejection?
It's also like she made an offer that's not uncommon in this circle. And then, okay, let's see. Let's go back to the facts.
I guess I looked a little grossed out because then she added she could also feed her prompt breast milk instead. So she just made a look. She made a face. So I can't really fault her for that. But instead, when the sister comes over, you can just say...
I guess I can, because it's like she knows that this is the arrangement. And it's like, this is not foreign information to you.
Oh, interesting.
You know?
Well, P says, I guess I looked a little grossed out. I don't think that's a crime at that point. She looked a little grossed out.
I can't really control my facial expressions.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I think where OP just blew it is obviously where she blew it. Sister comes back, obviously a little offended. Reading the subtext here, you can just say no or that it weirds you out.
Not stupid.
You don't have to try to make me uncomfortable. I think it's let me say this. I'm not gonna. I don't think this is a crime, but it is a bad way to open a confrontation. Right?
Of like saying what?
It's completely you framed, and the you framing is very dangerous. You can just say no or that it weirds you out. You don't have to try and make me uncomfortable. Whereas I think it's much more disarming to be like, hey, we just had that interaction. I just felt a little uncomfortable with what you said. It hurt my feelings when you said or made this face or whatever. That sure. I think is a better recipe for success. Not a crime against the sister, but just suboptimal.
I mean, sure, there's always like a better way to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good habit to try to avoid the use. But anyway, then OP replies, yeah, it fucking weirds me out. It's creepy, and I don't like it. But you do you. I wasn't aiming anything I said in your direction. But totally you were, OP, because you just did.
Right.
Like what? Like, hey, Sarah, I hate you. I wasn't aiming that at you. I'm just saying I do hate you.
Well, I think what she meant was like earlier I wasn't aiming anything at you, which is like great, but like now you are. And so you don't get a medal for not saying anything pointed before when you're being aggressive now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jaded Cryptographer, hot username. YTA, don't pretend you're not trying to shame her when you call her creepy. It's easy enough to just decline her offer without calling her names.
Like, yeah. And it's also, I mean, it's presumably, okay, let's go back to the facts. Sister has a 3-month-old, a 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old. The best friend has a 3-year-old and a newborn. Okay, so it's like she presumably has already known about this arrangement, so... Yeah, it's kind of like, you don't need to act so scandalized.
Right.
I think a better question is, why is a 3-year-old, why are 2- and 4-year-olds still breastfeeding?
Right, she's extended breastfeeding. So there's judgment
I didn't know
there.
That was a term. We're both learning things today.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think whatever, though, that's the kind of thing, though. It's like, look, is extended breastfeeding weird or creepy or you don't like it? Fine. But this isn't really the time or place.
That's what bothers me more. That's whatever, weirder to me than like wet nursing. But like, whatever, I guess each people have their own things. Now I'm Googling it.
I guess it never occurred to me that like breast milk is fungible. I guess I thought there was something
what
special.
Does that mean?
Like breast milk is interchangeable. Like
I don't think it's supposed to be. I think that's why you wean.
No, I mean in the sense of like any woman's breast milk can go with any baby. I mean it's so obvious. Why wouldn't that work? But I guess I just thought the mom gives the baby. One mom, one baby. It's stupid. I'm stupid. I didn't know about wet nursing. And you know what? I don't find it creepy. I find it surprising. But I'm happy. Good for history that we've totally been doing that. Dark Twisted Lady, YTA, nursing each other's babies used to be the norm and is still common in many cultures and increases the chances for the baby to get the right bacteria colonizing their colons. Okay, sure. I'm fine. Miss Sonderbar, ESH. You declined at first. She could have left it at that, but instead came back spoiling for a fight, which she got. She shouldn't have approached you again and should have cooled the words. See, I think this is someone who isn't... I mean, look, this is fair only in so much as, you know, the subtext of what she was saying was that she was hurt or offended in some way. But the words she said were very accusatory. So I just
But
can't...
I guess it's also just like she evidently wasn't wrong.
No, she wasn't wrong. OP absolutely made the face for a reason, was judgmental for a reason, and then they doubled down on it.
Yeah.
She was picking up on that, and yeah, I mean, look, I
Like,
just...
if someone is being judgmental, like, I don't know, I just don't like the whole, like, oh, like, if someone is kind of being a dick to you and you can pick up on it, you need to approach it with, like, I statements and blah, blah, blah. When it's like, you knew what you were doing. And you think you're being slick, but you're not.
Yeah. Yeah. Pent-up judgment. The Kelsey 21, you seriously couldn't have found a nicer way to say it. You don't have to agree with what she's doing for her kids, but there was literally no reason to shame her for it. I assume you like your sister and your comment was uncalled for.
Yeah.
Leslie 82, NTA, you declined politely the first time and she baited you into revealing your true feelings, which she already knew. She just wanted to shame you in front of her wet nurse friend. I don't really buy that.
I don't know that there's anything to be gained by, like, shaming in front of a fellow person who participates in this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think sister has got some kind of crazy four-dimensional chess going on. I think her feelings were hurt because it was kind of rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is OP clearly crossed the line. I think sister could have approached the conflict better, but that doesn't make her an asshole. That just makes her less savvy with conflicts, but...
I'm with you.
AITA for shaming my sister for offering to breastfeed my baby. We're agreeing a big fat YTA.
Yes.
Hey, we're going to wrap up here on a listener submish. Guys, please rate, review. We really appreciate it. Give me 5 stars. Mention me. Don't mention me. Hate me. Love me. What is that from, Sarah? Hate me. Love me. Isn't there something like that?
What?
Hate me. Love me. Pack me in your lunchbox. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
What?
I don't know. I feel like there's a celebrity thing. Like some people hate me. Some people love me. But I guess that's the Marilyn Monroe thing, right? If you don't hate me at my best, then you'll love me at my worst. Whatever it is. People.
If you don't, no, it's...
If you don't best me at my love, you'll bratwurst me at my hate. Okay?
Yes.
Is that it?
If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. I don't even think she said that.
If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my wet nurse. Okay? That's what it is.
Go.
Get it straight. So... please join us on Patreon. We'll see you in Patreon after the show. Patreon.com/AITA pod. We'd really appreciate you joining us. And we're having a great freaking time. Bi-weekly happy hours. WhatsApp. A robust set of features.
Woo.
Bringing down Netflix. that's our competitor somehow.
Yeah, right.
We're going to wrap up here on a listener submish, people. AITA for telling my sister she's disrespecting our late father's wishes by not allowing me to go on the family vacay so she can take her 16-year-old son's girlfriend instead. Wow, the disrespect level. My family has been a part of a timeshare for 30 years. A lot of time to go around, 30 years. My dad actually passed away.
We've shared a lot of time together.
My dad actually passed away on one of our vacays there a few years ago. After that, my mom stopped going.
Aww.
Too hard for her. But she continued paying all the fees. Well, 3 years ago, my older sister, who's 43, asked if she could start taking her kids there. They range in age from 19 to 14. Bizarre range, but I'll allow it. My mom said yes as long as
backwards.
My mom said as long as she let my younger brother and I also go, since there's room for 8. My sister has 4 kids. She let us go in 2019 and in 2020. She told my younger brother he couldn't go because one of her kids wanted to come. This year, she's telling me I can't go to the lake because her daughter wants to bring a friend and her son wants to bring a girl. I told her that mom said she has to let me go if I want to and reminded her that mom is still paying all of the costs. My sister doesn't pay. I told her that her kids' friends shouldn't be taking priority over family. This vacation every July is as close as I'll ever get to my dad since it's the last place I ever saw him alive, and it's the only time I see his family who lives out of state. The agreement she made with my mom was that I had to be allowed to go, and now she's backing out of that.
Okay, so I'm vaguely aware of how timeshares work, and I know it can be hard to actually reserve a time, but surely this can't be the only weekend they have a year.
Yeah, usually it's
Right?
like a quarter or something like that. Yeah, it's usually a stretch of time.
Right, I'm kind of like, I feel like there should be another time that you can go.
Yeah.
This to me just seems kind of like they both have different expectations. OP is expecting this to be a family trip, and the sister wants this to be a family trip for her nuclear family.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this really does come down to a simple rule. Like, in the end, it does seem to be a family trip of sorts. I don't hear that, OP just wants their spot. They're not saying the kiddos can't come, Nikki C, NTA.
Yeah, what do you mean? But like, I feel like the aunt, I guess, for lack of a better word, is like, she just wants to take a trip with her own personal family and not have it be an extended family trip.
Oh, am I losing the characters here? The aunt. Who's the aunt?
Well,
The aunt
I don't
trying
know.
to.
I'm just thinking of them as a whole family tree, and so like the OP sister.
I guess I just thought the fundamental
There's no
problem
aunt.
here is that OP says, no, I'm going, and that your kid's friend shouldn't be taking priority over family, which is me. I thought the problem was that simple. Do I have that wrong?
Well, no, but I guess the way that I see it is every single vacation doesn't have to have your whole extended family. And,
I just feel like there's a
it's a
toss-up.
different dynamic.
Yeah, well, in a toss-up, though, family takes priority. It's her timeshare. It's a family timeshare, and, like, does your son's girlfriend really need to go?
Right.
I mean, to me, this is pretty cut and dry, and the agreement was already established. It sounds like sister was kind of stepping over. I'm on OP's side here, not just because they're a submitter. Carrie J, talk to your mom. Sister's being a huge asshole, so she's with me there. Nico S, NTA, that was the agreement. Her kids' extras don't come before family. That's selfish. She's treating it like her personal free lake retreat. Stick to your plans. Jacqueline C, she's confused. She says, can they split the time so they're not all there together? And why does everyone sound so immature? OP isn't the asshole here, but they sound like they're a teenager.
I mean, that is true. Like, I don't know. It's just very like, I'm going to tell mom where, I mean, this is a timeshare, so I just assume there's another kind of alternative solution.
I mean, look, it's the sister. She wants to go. Shit.
I know, but I also understand, like, the other sister being like, I kind of want this to be, like, a trip with just my family.
Yeah.
And, like, my kid's girlfriend or whatever.
But was it cleared before? Was it brought in? I mean, realistically, it does seem... I guess we're not really clear on how... She let us go in 19 and in 2020, so that seems to indicate that it's a yearly event. I'm seeing a yearly event here that Sister's taking over, but yeah, OP, I would say if it was Sister's thing and you're trying to get in, then you would...
Yeah, I guess it does seem like the sister is sort of dictating this weekend, which is sort of why.
Right.
So I guess that's really the question, because it's not sister's like house or trip or whatever to dictate necessarily, unless it's like, we want this weekend, so don't come this weekend. Or whatever, however it works.
Yeah. Ashton W, YTA, stop trying to crash your sister's family vacay. You're behaving very childish for an adult. I don't know. It's just not clear to me what's going on. OP, you're the one who has the info here. I mean, I'm on your side. It seems like you got a right to go on this thing, but if if that's what the sister is trying to do and have her own family thing, then maybe you should step back. But, if this is a once a year thing, then I would say, yeah, she's being an asshole by kind of pushing you out for this little punk son's girlfriend. It's toughy. Toughie. I think we're gonna have to go info on this. I don't feel crystal
I
clear.
know, just because like I don't like if the sister is just trying to commandeer this house and just bully her way into getting a free timeshare, then that's obviously wrong. But if she just wants a certain type of family vacation and like doesn't want her siblings on it, I honestly kind of get that.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's a valid use of the timeshare. So it really comes down to how much time they have and kind of what the tradition is, etc. AITA for telling my sister she's disrespecting our deceased dad's wishes by not allowing me to go on the family vacation so she can take her 16-year-old son's girlfriend instead.
Whoa.
We're going with info, OP. Only you know.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Sorry.
Please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, and we'll see you next Monday morning.
Bye.